All right, everyone. Welcome back into another NBA DFS video. Going to be covering this Wednesday slate for you guys. It is a very interesting one. Chuck and I were talking right before this video. It's all like, might be one to just take the foot off the pedal a little bit. Is that kind of the consensus thought there, Chuck?
Yeah, ever since right before the All-Star break, after the All-Star break, I've been trying to play a little bit lighter, especially on days like today where there's still an edge that we're going to find, but it's so random because we don't know the OKC rotation and they're the chalk right now.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like for me, it's weird. There are some slates in which I get a little bit more excited for just because of a little bit of the randomness. But sometimes it feels like it's a little bit more easy to predict. I wouldn't say today is that day.
Yeah, OKC is not the team that we like randomness with.
No. And so part of that's just their minutes have been more random, and we really can't figure out why. Like, at least with the Spurs, we kind of get it. The Hawks, the Nets, a little like those teams where the minutes have been a little bit sporadic. Being able to at least like figure out why or see a consistency there. This has not been consistent with OKC.
Yeah, I think the tough thing is like with Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe and Trey Mann, they've done it so many times this season where the starter does not start the second half. The guy playing off the bench is playing better, so they let him start the second half. And so it's really a guessing game, but whoever starts is going to be the priority because we can assume something, but I don't know what that is.
So let's just talk about all the plays, and I'll sort it just by minutes. Okay, so Lou Dort is projected to get the most minutes. He's kind of priced up, and so his ownership is still pretty low, 9% on DraftKings, 22% on FanDuel. Any thoughts for Dort or Josh Giddey for that matter? Those are probably the two safest, but also risky plays as well.
So when SGA was out a few games in a row, Giddy was chalk a couple times, and it's something weird with his rates this year are actually better with SGA when he plays. And so Giddy's still going to be a good play tonight. The only fear in Giddy is this minutes thing where he might not play the fourth quarter sometimes. But if we're assuming the 33 and a half minutes we haven't projected for, Giddy's going to look pretty good on DraftKings, especially at 7,600.
Yeah.
And then Lou Dort, he's the guy who's supposed to get the biggest usage bump with SGA out. And today Jalen Williams is out again. And so I'm hoping that Lou Dort gets that usage bump back. And at 9%, 6K, the 6,200 on FanDuel, even the 22% ownership, I like that over there. And then on DraftKings, I think he's a pretty solid play at 6K.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised he's only 9%. That seems strange.
Yeah, if everyone's going to like Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe mostly, then that's just a little bit of inherent leverage in Lou Dort.
Yeah. I mean, so like Aaron Wiggins, I get why he's chalk on DraftKings. Probably just should be, right? I mean, like 38% isn't too bad. 3.5 on DraftKings. Like, he doesn't need to do much to pay off that price tag. But I guess what are you shooting for if you're playing Wiggins at this price point or at this ownership tag for him to win a GPP? Is it 30?
I mean, so here's the thing. If he's a starter, he's probably going to be more than 38% owned.
Okay.
And so him being in mostly everyone's lineups makes it so he doesn't have to go super off. But yeah, I want 30 from Aaron Wiggins. Like, if he puts up a 22, 23, it doesn't kill us, but we're not super excited about it.
Yeah, I agree there. And then any of the bigs there, Williams, Saric, any of those guys?
It's tough. Assuming Jalen Williams starts, then he's probably okay at his price on DraftKings, 3,700. Dario Saric, 3,400. He's been playing, but there's no confidence in his minutes off the bench. But he can do it. Coming in at 7% ownership, it's probably a little bit higher than I'd like when we're playing players like Dario Saric. And then Usman Deng got some minutes yesterday. He's coming in at 9% ownership, 17 on FanDuel, and he's pretty cheap, but that ownership is still so high too.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. The multiple position eligibility. Power forward on DraftKings, power forward on DraftKings. On Yahoo's a shooting guard, and then you got small forward, power forward on FanDuel. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, there's no consistency.
No. Yeah, I kind of like him GPP wise. I was hoping he'd be a little bit lower on. I thought he'd be a little bit more sneaky, but so we got a couple of questions coming in. Can we fit 3 studs? And then if so, which ones should we play? We'll touch on that in a second here. And then, we'll touch on some more studs here. And then just looking at Wiggins. Yeah, I think Wiggins, do we eat the chalk? That's the biggest question. In this blowout, do we eat the chalk? Potential blowout. Most likely blowout.
So here's the thing with wanting to play Wiggins because of potential blowout run. With this OKC team, that's not really a thing. We don't know who's going to get the blowout run. Like, it's probably Aaron Wiggins, but we don't want to play him just to get that blowout run. Like, we play Aaron Wiggins because he can get there in regular time, and then it's a bonus when he gets that blowout run.
My last question for this team would be Trey Mann. Any love for him at all? We've seen him be productive when he does get 20 minutes. Obviously, if we get news that he's starting, it becomes much more appealing. Any love for him at all? Just hoping that he gets 20 minutes at the min price.
If we're playing 150 lineups today, I'm pretty sure we want to be mixing it up with some Trey Mann. We just want to be careful with the rules we set. I'm not sure what the groups are yet. We need to see who starts, but it would be something like max 2 or 3 from Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Josh Giddey. Probably max 3.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I think that covers it for OKC. If you guys have more questions for that, make sure to get those in. We'd be happy to answer those. Let's just look at kind of the total value on tonight's slate. DraftKings wise, Justin Holiday popping up. I didn't see that one coming. And then Wiggins, and then Wood, KCP, Hardaway, Hunter, and then just flipping around, looking at FanDuel. Justin Holiday. Why is Justin Holiday popping up? I don't. That's interesting.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I don't know.
Did not see that coming. Projected to get 29.7 minutes. It's a close game. Don't have to worry about blowout. And it's coming in at low ownership, 7 and 6%. So, yeah, we got to figure this out.
You know what this is? Reggie Bullock is out, and Justin Holiday played 30 minutes in the previous game. I don't think it's fair to project him for 29.7 minutes, though. But if we take a couple off of his minutes projection, his DK value only goes down a little bit. He'd still be a good value play, I guess. I think it's because Reggie Bullock is out, though.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Reggie Bullock isn't a high type of usage player or anything like that anyways.
No, Justin Holiday is just... I mean, he's top of the OF index or top of the DK value, and the model has been really good the past week with hitting on these low-owned guys near the top of the value. Like, they're hitting much more often than they're supposed to in theory, and so I can't imagine Justin Holiday is going to be the top value play today. But if he's going to stay at this low ownership coming up to lock, I think we definitely want to mix him in with the Thunder guys.
Dude, my biggest struggle, or I would say problem, each slate and any slate is like literally getting to like values like that where it's ugly. The data says you should play it, and I don't know, you just can't click it because it's ugly.
It's really uncomfortable,
right?
Yeah. Like players like him, Matisse Thybulle. I think Justin Holiday was actually on here last time. He had a terrible game, but.
But at that low ownership, that's interesting to me. And then what about John Collins? He's kind of popping up as a value. 2% on both FanDuel and DraftKings, only projected to get right around 20 minutes. His minutes have seemed to kind of disappear, it seems like. Any love for him at all at 4.1 and 5.1?
Like, I should at this price, but there's no... He played 20 minutes, 16, 23 minutes in the last 3 games. Like, I think it's worth some shots at 2%, but there's no confidence in his minutes right now.
Yeah. And then just looking at the top studs on the slate, just to answer that question from some people coming in. The top studs are Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard, Nikola Jokic, KD, and then Jayson Tatum, Devin Booker, Trae Young, Brandon Ingram, Kawhi Leonard. Kind of who are you looking at? There's no like standout price point play, I don't think yet. Do you see any?
No one like sticks out due to their price. Of these guys, I'm not really even getting any of the top studs that much. It looks like even with the OKC value, my builds are a little bit more balanced. I'm not seeing anyone over 10K in my top lineups right now except Luka a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just looking at the ownerships though, Luka's pretty low. I mean, they're all low owned. I think we should be getting there. We have the value too. Someone asked about fitting 3 studs. I don't think we can fit 3 studs today, but it's pretty reasonable to fit 2 studs, maybe a couple mid range with some of these super min price guys.
The video earlier today, I ran the lineup builder, and it was just spitting out 2 studs just like that. So it does seem to be the move to at least fit 2 studs in there.
Yeah, so when the builder has all that value to work with, it's just going to jam in the studs. Like we have all the value today already. We're probably going to get more value later too.
I mean, we almost have to, right?
Yeah.
Just with how this typically late season NBA DFS, how it typically plays out.
Right. The good thing is OKC and Phoenix play in the second to last game, so we should have the roster spots to take advantage of late swap opportunities for
Yeah.
those middle games. But we'll have to see.
So they're kind of what two studs? All right, pick two studs that you like the most. Just right off the bat.
I'm gonna say Damian Lillard because he's second on the index, coming in at 5% owned. And then I mean, it's just kind of like rolling the dice.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard kind of stands out to me because he's the next stud who's under 10% owned on the model. But I'm a little biased there because I'm a little biased towards the Clippers tonight.
Chuck's going to be going to the game, apparently, guys. So
yeah, I'm just going to play Kawhi or Paul George with Fred VanVleet or Pirtle in my two lineups I'm making tonight. So, but Kawhi Leonard does look pretty good at 6% ownership.
If they suck, everyone just blame Chuck. And if they go off, everyone thank Chuck.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to find some too. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think like 8.4, like Fred VanVleet is technically a stud at that price tag, or like CJ McCollum. I would kind of agree. Like Lillard at that ownership is probably the way to go. Donovan Mitchell, I don't mind just upside wise. Could go off at a low ownership, like could get 50 DK points at 4%. We would take that. It kind of seems like an ownership type of week.
One thing I will say with Fred VanVleet, so he's not showing up very high in the model. There's a few guys that are cheaper price that have a better model ranking than him. But with him and Bradley Beal, point guard and shooting guard, they're two different positions, but their prices are very similar. I think they're both really good plays. Bradley Beal's pulling a little bit of ownership at 8,100, and he's a little bit further down the model than I would have liked to see. I'm a little surprised, actually. I thought he would be higher based on this matchup, but I think Bradley Beal and Fred VanVleet are two, borderline studs, I guess, that we could be looking at.
Yeah, they also, it seems tight. Let's just put it that way. It seems tight, like with the plays. So it's going to be tough to find like great spots. And it does seem to be a situation in which we favored the lower owned player. It kind of is as simple as that, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's just kind of go over the guards in general here. Anyone that's like standing out to you other than kind of those players that we mentioned, like OG kind of popping up there, shooting guard eligible. I don't really like that. Obviously, Justin Holiday still popping up there. Isaiah Joe. Any love for any of these guys here? It's gonna be really tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. One thing I will say, Luka is number 5 on DK value for points per dollar value.
Yeah,
that's pretty significant, being the most expensive player on the slate. Cam Reddish is getting the minutes and he's producing. I kind of like Cam Reddish at that 4,700. His price is coming up from what we've seen, and he's pulling some ownership, but he seems fine. I saw Josh Okogie getting some love earlier, and I didn't really understand it at all. But if he's going to come in at 3%, I think it's worth taking a few shots. But that 37% on FanDuel at 4,700 seems kind of insane for Josh Okogie. Like, he was great, but we have to remember now he's playing next to Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. When he was going off, Devin Booker wasn't even in.
Yeah, I mean, they've been so banged up. That lineup has been very inconsistent. It's, to me, a stay away, too.
It's like FanDuel, I know the pricing is very difficult, and so if Okogie gives us 26 fantasy points, we're going to be okay at that 4,700 price, but 37%, it's just, that'll change later. We're probably going to get some news that brings that down.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, so I went ahead and kind of was putting in Luka into the build, I think, and then also I might try to fit Lillard in there.
Yeah, I think we can today.
Yeah, that'll be kind of unique, I think, as well.
So the only problem when we're putting two elite studs in both of the guard spots is we might miss out on one of the value plays. Like today, we can just pick one Thunder guy, I guess, and we probably got to stick him in utility. A couple of them have shooting guard eligibility too, so.
I kind of like Man. I kind of feel like that's.
I like getting to Terrence Mann, yeah. Or Terrence Mann, Trey Mann.
You shouldn't mess up Bridges. I think I did that one video on accident. The two Bridges.
Pretty similar. Same with the Mans.
Yep. I think we're good to move on into small forward. Do you have any questions, or into forwards? Do you have any questions coming in? Let's see. Best projected plays or players under 6.5. Are you talking about on DraftKings or FanDuel? Then we'll answer that. And then no love for Tatum. Tatum's fine. That game's just projected to be a blowout. And I don't feel like we can trust that game. Do you?
Um, well, the thing is that if we like Dame a little bit, we kind of have to like the Boston side a little bit because I think for
Yeah.
Dame to really hit that fantasy score, the game's going to be close because he's going to be scoring a lot.
Yeah.
Jayson Tatum 10-3 is too cheap on DraftKings. I think that's a pretty good price, whereas Jalen Brown's prices come up to 9,100. I'm fine getting to Tatum tonight, more so on DraftKings.
Okay. I agree with that. Yeah, if we are playing Dame, we kind of would have to play Tatum. It's a logical play, especially if we are rolling with the value in Reddish. That does make sense there.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that.
And then, do we go as far as to play Jeremy Grant then as well?
So Jeremy Grant is a guy that I never loved getting to, but I got to him just randomly the other day, and it worked out. So I kind of like him now.
Right? It's just they've been getting minutes out of nowhere.
Yeah, his usage has been pretty good. The 40 minutes, like he's playing 37 minutes in all the last 5 games, 37 plus. So we like to see that, and the shot volume is back to where we like to see it too. 7,300. I mean, it's an easy price for Jeremy Grant on DraftKings.
Yeah, I really don't mind it either. And then so just answering this question here, best projected players under 6.5. We got sorted by OF Index. We got Jakob Poeltl, Lou Dort, Yusuf, Aaron Gordon, Clint Capela, Wood. Yeah, personally, I'd probably just go Jakob Poeltl, Dort, or Capela. Any one of those ones you like more or less than the other?
Not necessarily, no. I think they're all fine. Yeah, I think they're all fine tournament plays. One thing I will say, I did not know that Yusuf Nurkic was questionable tonight. If Yusuf Nurkic is in, that hurts Jeremy Grant quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's see his projected minutes, 25. Yeah. I would agree. I was just thinking, I'm like, if it is a game in which they're playing from behind, will they push the minutes on him?
On Jeremy Grant?
No, on Yusuf.
on Nurkic. I don't think so. I don't know what Portland's trying to do right now, though. They're not really contending. They're not rebuilding. They're just chilling, I guess. I don't know what the game plan could be.
It feels like there's not as many like obvious teams tanking this year as previous years.
Yeah, at least not making it as obvious.
Yes.
Like the Thunder.
Yeah, exactly. Are they though? They've been playing hard, at least.
I guess I don't understand this team at all. I don't know.
I feel like they're too young to say that they are tanking in the classical sense of tanking.
I'll just say they're incentivized to not win games from here on out. So
that's very true. That's very true. Can you have too many value plays in your build? Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Depends on the slate.
Yes. Because at a certain point, raw points start to matter. And so even if you're getting a 7x from all your 3.5K, even an 8x, 9x from your 3.5K guys, we still need those 7x's from the 9K, 10K guys sometimes. The 6, 7, 8K guys, we need those 40 pluses from those guys usually for winning lineups. So, but I mean, stars and scrubs is a pretty common build, so it's definitely valid. Just be careful.
Yeah, I agree there as well. So just sorting by small forward and power forward, looking at FanDuel position here. So the highest projected on players, we got Josh already, we got Matthias, we got Brandon Ingram, Al Horford, Kyle Kuzma, Pascal Siakam, Cam Reddish. Personally, I think Cam Reddish is my favorite there. And then Lou Dort. I'm a little bit shocked that Lou Dort isn't higher projected owned on FanDuel, where he's only 6.2. I feel like we would kind of just have to try to play those two, Cam Reddish and Lou Dort. Any other plays that are sticking out to you, kind of small forward, power forward wise on FanDuel?
I think so far those are the two that stick out to me.
Okay.
Dort and Reddish.
And I think that's going to be the same for DraftKings as well. Not as much chalk there at the forward position, so we can kind of get a little bit unique there. Lou Dort, it's just strange. 9% just seems strange.
Yeah, I actually don't expect it to go up that much either.
Just because of the game?
Yeah, just because of the game, everyone's going to go to the why would we pay 6K for Lou Dort when we could pay 3.5 or 3K for Trey Mann and Aaron Wiggins? I think we should be paying 6K for Lou Dort.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I'll say though with the value guys, too many value. Just make sure it's not all. You can't play all the Thunder value guys in the same lineup. Like you can play a couple of them, maybe 3, depending on positions. but you can't just play like Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins, and Isaiah Joe, and you're in the lineup together. I don't think that's good.
No, it wouldn't be optimal. It's not like the Detroit slate, I don't know, like a week ago.
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah. OKC just has more bodies, and we've seen them mix up the lineup much more.
Minutes get more spread out and whatnot. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on into center. We'll start out with center on FanDuel. So the best center plays that we were getting, just looking at the UF index, are going to be Jokic, Porzingis, Bam, DeAndre Ayton, Jakob Poeltl, J Val's back as well, and then Yusuf. To me, I kind of like going down to Capela. That's more of a DraftKings play where he's about $1,000 cheaper. What are your thoughts on Porzingis? I know he's a little bit priced up on FanDuel. Any love for him?
Yeah, I like Porzingis. I slammed him in yesterday because the index told me to, and it ended up being Beal with the being the good play. But Porzingis, he looks pretty good tonight. 8,900 on DraftKings, 98 FanDuel. I mean, his ownership is fine. I think a lot of people are going to go to Beal since he's been on fire recently, and one of the easiest ways to get leverage is just play his team, his stud teammate.
Yeah, it's not like Porzingis played poorly either. It's just Beal played great.
He still put up 20 plus points, right?
Yeah, just a little bit too many fouls and a turnover as well. It could have easily had 40, and he had 36, I think, or so.
And he fouled out.
Yeah. So yeah. Now I'm looking at Bam.
Mm-hmm.
The Kevin Love thing. I think it's a thing. I do.
Yeah.
I think we can't be on Bam. I know he's not that high owned, but especially in this matchup against Cleveland, it's probably just too high, I think.
Yeah, I think like if you're making 150, you should probably have Bam in your player pool, but we don't. This is a player we don't necessarily have to get over that 7%.
Yeah, I would agree there. Yeah, am I crazy about Clint Capela? Because to me, it seems like there's been 2 games in which were back-to-backs. He didn't get minutes because of that. And then there's been 2 games in which he's gotten 35 minutes that weren't back-to-backs. One of them against Washington where he went off against them. Am I like crazy about Clint Capela because he's only coming in at 10%? That seems way too low to me.
No, I think we talked about him on the show last week, Clint Capela, that with the new coach, we kind of were hoping that he was going to get more minutes. That didn't really come to fruition over the next couple of games. So that first game, he got the minutes. Okongwu was in foul trouble, but Clint Capela got 35 minutes in the previous game, and Okongwu was not in foul trouble as far as I can tell. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay taking shots on Clint Capela. Even at the 25 minutes we have him projected for or whatever. At this price, I think it's fine. And if we end up getting 32, 33 minutes, then he's just a smash at the center spot. I do want to point out, someone asked about Poeltl in the chat earlier. Poeltl is one of my favorite center plays on the slate today, and he's a very similar price. So this is a pretty good price range, I think.
So I feel like if we're not going to go like Luka and Lillard or some combination of that, we're going to pay up studs at guard. I feel like we got to go to like pretty much just Capela and Jakob Poeltl at center.
Yeah, I mean, this mid-range kind of in center, this is where I've been loving to live this whole season. It's just a lot of centers in this range can put up that 40 plus that we need. And then we can still fit in another stud center in the utility on DraftKings if it's a 2-center night.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm pivoting to that. I got off of Luka, went with Lillard instead. Right now, just kind of looking at a build that we can make out. It's okay. We're going to have to get off of Dort.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to go man. And what we're here, Jalen Williams with a Y for the Thunder. Any love for him?
I'm interested. He's been playing pretty well recently. I think before, I'm not sure if it was a minutes thing, but I mean, he wasn't that great of a fantasy producer, but guys are off the court. So hopefully, let me just see the minutes. I mean, 27 minutes yesterday, 31 and 30. So he's been getting minutes in the last 4 games, 3,700. Mm-hmm. It's worth taking some shots. It's not great that he's center only on DraftKings, but I mean, he's a cheap value center who is probably going to play close to 30 minutes tonight. I think it's fine.
I guess which one of the two would you rather be on, Jakob Poeltl or Clint Capela? AKA, like, if we were trying to go value, which one would you get off of?
I think my answer is Jakob Poeltl. I think his minutes projection is better today. It was a little bit too low on the previous slate, but I think the industry bumped him up to where it should be. But I still think his ownership is too. Like, I think Jakob Poeltl's ownership. I don't know how to say this. Like compared to Clint Capela's ownership, I'd rather play. I think Jakob Poeltl's more under-owned than Clint Capela.
Yeah. I mean, 5% on FanDuel, 15% on DraftKings. It does seem low. I mean, I don't know. Can we play him at 8K on FanDuel?
So someone asked me this last week, and I said he was too expensive, and he ended up being the highest scorer on the slate. So he's a tournament play on FanDuel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Probably
his
just even.
Yeah, his price is a little high, but he's a tournament play. He's playable.
It's not like he can't go for 50, right?
Yeah, I mean, he did it when I told him no. So
darn it. And then we'll just get into some questions here, guys. It is kind of I wouldn't say it's a straightforward slate. It is a interesting value-based slate.
An interesting thing that I think we haven't touched on yet was Christian Wood for Dallas. So we mentioned Reggie Bullock is out. That's going to boost Justin Holiday. Christian Wood is down to 4,900 on DraftKings center only. No confidence in the minutes, but if he plays 20 minutes, we can take some shots on a $4,900 Christian Wood. He's already showing close to 20% ownership though, and the 19% ownership on FanDuel at 5,900 is a little high. Just because we don't have confidence in the minutes. If he starts, that's a little different, but we haven't seen that yet, so we'll have to see what happens there with Christian Wood. Top of the value though for center.
Yeah, to me that's a pretty interesting play. I get it. I would say if he starts, we can play him, but it's the sediment of this slate. Very risk reward. Yeah.
Christian Wood, if he was under 10% ownership, we'd be very happy to take shots. We want to lean into the uncertainty in these kind of situations, but if everyone's going to lean into the uncertainty, then we don't have to do it. There's other center plays we like today too. So
So we got Josh saying that we got a revenge game for Sarge, but he thinks that it's going to be a blowout, so Sarge is going to be the best play. I don't know if I really see that with Sarge. He's kind of a veteran. Like, why would he get minutes in a blowout being a veteran? I don't know.
We kind of talked about this earlier with Aaron Wiggins or Trey Mann talking about we don't want to play guys banking on the blowout run. We play guys that could play in blowout that are capable of getting there during their regular time and then can add on, that tournament winning stat padding at the end of the game, I guess.
Now, what about flipping it around with the Suns? Could we be on someone like Campaign? Can we be on someone like Torrey Craig, the center, Landale? Can we be on one of those guys where if they do get 20 minutes, maybe they're putting up 20 points and they're kind of a decent value then? One
thing I'll say with that, like those guys, they could certainly put up the score or whatever. It's just we have the value today, so it's only a seven game slate. We have tons of value. If it was a shorter slate where we didn't have the value, then we should take those shots. I guess a good example could be the night slate tonight. 3 games on the night slate. I think all those plays that you said, they're more of they're pretty good on the night slate. We got to get to those kind of guys when the slate is shorter.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of want to pull up Dario Saric here. I'm trying to find some games that were blowouts. So last game against Utah, 130 to 103. That was a blowout. Played 17 minutes. Let's see some other games here. Houston played 14 minutes. Yeah, to me, it just doesn't make sense for him to get minutes in a blowout.
No.
It could happen.
It could happen, yeah. I mean, he played 27 minutes once in the last 10 games, and every game under that has been under 20. Like I said, we have other value. We don't have to get to Sarge. If you want to take some shots, that's fine. And then if you want to play him on the night slate, he's probably going to be one of the chalk values on the night slate, if I had to guess, just looking at the teams right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. So do you have a core for today? That's the biggest question.
I mean, as of right now, my DraftKings, quote unquote, I hate using the word core because first of all, the core always changes, especially we're doing the video a couple hours before lock. The core is going to change. So I'd rather when you guys are asking about the core, I'm answering what I think are the best plays, the guys I'm getting to the most. And right now, Aaron Wiggins, Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe, Cam Reddish, Jakob Poeltl is going to be in my core today, but that's a GPP core. And keep in mind, I'm only making 2 lineups. And then Christian Wood is showing up too.
I just changed the statement to Chucks.
Oh, I like that.
Me too.
I guess I got to get some more 3-point shooters in here.
But I like that.
Pretty much those guys. Aaron Wiggins, Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe. I'm not going to say definitely all three of them, but some combination of those guys, one, two, maybe three.
Yeah.
Lou Dort I'm gonna have Lou Dort more than the field, and then Bradley Beal I really like a lot at AK.
Yeah. Did you say Cam Reddish as well or no?
Yeah, I said Cam Reddish is going to be pretty close to court today. I think he's an easy play. He's playing 30 plus minutes. Keep in mind, I did mention Nurkic is back, so that might change things. But at the 4,700 price, I think we can still take some shots there.
I was trying to get to Tatum into the build, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
Tatum stuff. I mean, like I said, his price seems fine, right? But yeah, it's tough to get in there with the guys that we want.
So I guess if we go Tatum, and then maybe instead of Lillard, we go Booker or Kyrie, Mitchell.
Those all sound great to me. I love taking shots on Donovan Mitchell when he's low owned. It works out sometimes.
It's not a great matchup, but at the same time, wouldn't it be shocking to see him put up 50, 60, honestly? Like, it's just...
Yeah, I jammed Donovan in on the previous slate. He came in at 2% owned, and he put up 65 fantasy points, but Tyrese Halliburton put up 70 plus. So it's like we can be right about these things sometimes, and it just doesn't matter because someone else puts up a unattainable score. Kyrie Irving popped into my mind just now after you mentioned Kyrie. I like him as a tournament shot too.
Yeah, he makes for a good pivot, I think, off of Luka. I think that's going to be a consistent theme we see for Dallas now. You summed up NBA DFS on DraftKings or FanDuel. It's just like you can be right, but you're not right enough, and it's a bad day. It's kind of crazy how that works.
Like with hitting the chalk too, like I'm sure you guys will like. So with that value question earlier, let's say you have a lineup with 6 value guys, 2 studs, and high, mid range, whatever. Everyone has a flame, but you're out of first place by 50 points because the value guys, even though they put up a 7x, it's just the raw points are just not there. And so so it's all a balance. So it changes from slate to slate.
It's honestly, that's crazy. Let's see. We have any more questions here? Speaking of FanDuel, we kind of mentioned the FanDuel plays. It seems like both slates are extremely tight right now. Just sorting the best FanDuel value here real quick again. Justin Holiday was someone that was popping up. Shocked both of us, but more times than not, the day is going to be more right than us. We got Lou Dort, Luka actually popping up there, J-Val, Wood, Hardaway. Kind of most of the players you'd think would pop up as well.
Excuse me. With those Dallas players popping up, none of the New Orleans guys are really popping up except for Brandon Ingram. He's the only guy I've kind of seen on these when we've been going through the model today. I guess CJ McCollum is there too, but if we're going to play a couple Dallas guys, Brandon Ingram's been great. CJ McCollum's been okay. I think we can take, and Jonas too. Jonas is a deep tournament shot today though.
Yeah, deep tournament shot. Yeah. I mean, if you're stacking it, it does make sense. This is, to me, the ultimate shoulder shrug day. Like, we have a few pretty solid plays, and then the rest are like, if we end up on them, that's a fine build. That's an okay build. Like, it's tough to be like, these are my favorite plays. It just is.
I think, I think we just, a few of the guys near the top of the model and near the top of value that are coming in with a little bit of lower ownership, I think we just play them a little bit more than the field, and that's already a pretty big edge today, I think. Just getting to the guys that most people aren't, even if we're playing the chalk.
Yeah. I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make a just kind of multi-build here. I'm going to put in Reddish and Wiggins. Is that fine for like the 2 that we need to start with?
Sounds good to me, yeah. So one thing, though, with Wiggins is I think the field is all going to Isaiah Joe. Did you like Isaiah Joe tonight?
I don't like the fact that he is looking like he's chalk is the thing. Like, he's a perfect Chuck's player. I don't know. It's just like the Thunder. He's a little bit priced up. I feel like if he was, let's just say $300 cheaper, I'd feel much more comfortable about Isaiah Joe as a play. It's just, I would rather play someone safe on the Thunder, and I feel like Wiggins is the only safe play we get on the Thunder. And so I wish we knew the minutes for Isaiah Joe for sure. Like, in theory, he's the one player that I guess could break the slate. Like, honestly, if he puts up 45, it wouldn't shock me, but if he puts up 15, it also wouldn't be shocking to me.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's the starter, and so the field, he's going to pull the ownership that we're showing right now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's scoring dependent. If he hits, he hits. But his ownership is going to be so high, we can get away from it. And if we do, we should be playing Aaron Wiggins or Trey Mann.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, is that the move with OKC? Right, just play the lower owned player that has a lot of projected minutes.
I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah. If everyone's going to go to Isaiah Joe because he's starting, we saw this happen last time where Aaron Wiggins started the second half, and if you played Aaron Wiggins over Isaiah Joe, you got infinite leverage. I don't think we're going to get that huge ownership gap today, but we saw this happen a few times. Players like Isaiah Joe, players like Malik Beasley, who we think are going to be thrust into this, new role, and Isaiah Joe has, but I don't know. At that ownership, we can start to get away. Yeah.
Yeah. So someone kind of brought up a good question just about thoughts on Washington Atlanta game stack. On slates like these, where it doesn't seem like we have any really big edges, really, except for a few players, I actually don't mind stacking. I know you typically don't like to stack, but it's kind of a way in which you can get some unique builds. Hopefully, a game kind of is an overtime game or, whatever. Obviously, if you get lucky that way, you're going to benefit a lot. What are your thoughts on kind of that in a slate in which we don't have like obvious pay-up plays, obvious value, just stacking it and figuring out that way?
Today's slate, I think, is actually really friendly for stacking because there's pretty much plays we like on both sides of every game, if that's something we want to target. The only thing I will say about specifically Atlanta, Washington is it's really tough to use up a lot of your roster spots in that first game because the past few slates, we've been getting news 1 minute after lock. Jalen Brunson's out a few days ago. James Harden's out a few days ago where it just completely changes our core plays. And so if we want to get to studs from Atlanta, say like DeJounte Murray, Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, even down to Clint Capela, I think that's great. But I think we should be trying to avoid the value from this game. They're not that good today. But if you want to play the studs, I think that's good.
Yeah, like four players for a game stack, right?
Yeah, or three, 2 and 1. Either way, or 4 or 5, whatever. Depending on the price, it depends on the price. It just how much of your salary are you allocating to this game? If it's like Bradley Beal, DeJounte, and Kristaps, like that's a lot of salary. You need them all to go off. But if it's like Bradley Beal, DeJounte, and Clint Capela, like that's still a lot of salary, but it's more reasonable, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of think that'd be my kind of closing thoughts. Is that if you're playing some GPPs today, probably just run some stacks. I probably won't play cash today. And I actually don't mind your idea. If we're stacking it, might as well do some showdown builds as well. Kind of, you're being forced into some showdown builds tonight by going to the game. I actually don't mind that approach as well because you can still use your knowledge that you have, that just day to day and whatnot, and possibly gain an edge on the field as well.
And with that leverage thing too, especially OKC, if you're playing the night slate, whoever's leverage on the main slate is still going to be slight leverage on the night slate. So it's kind of like double dipping because, we're betting on the same player twice, I guess. So be a little careful with your bankroll. But if you see something in OKC that you think you're going to take advantage of for the main slate, it's probably worth doing that on the night slate too.
I like that. All right. So guys, that is all for today's video. Good luck tonight. Wish Chuck the best of fun at the game tonight. Hopefully the players don't suck.
Hopefully.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe.
That's right. And we got the links in the description below for all the tools as well as the Discord chat. Let's get to 6,000 subscribers.
All right. Thanks, guys.